Australia is the country of focus this time at 55th IFFI. DD India's Deepika Meheto gets you an exclusive interaction with Australian director Tom McKeith, who spoke about the strengthening bilateral ties between India and Australia.
We have with us Tom McKeith, the celebrated director of the movie repertoire, and interestingly, it is an Australian movie. Australia is the country of focus this time at the 55th edition of IFFI. Thank you so much, Tom, for talking exclusively to DD India.
No worries, thanks for having me.
Tom, first of all, we would like to know more about your movie repertoire.
Sure. So it's a sci-fi thriller film, and it's set on a remote location in the Australian countryside on a farm. It's about a husband and wife who are doing some new farming technology to create livestock, and their relationship is not going so well. And then one night the power goes out on the farm, and they realize that there's something out there on the property, and they don't know what it is. So yeah, it's a little bit scary and set in the near future. So yeah, I'm hoping that Indian audiences respond to it and enjoy the film.
And now seeing that movie here in India, and especially among the Indian audiences, what brings you to IFFI, and what is the most excited point that takes you to IFFI here in India?
Well, look, it's the first time I've been here, and I've absolutely been enjoying the whole experience, and it's been amazing to meet Indian filmmakers and Indian producers and have the opportunity to talk about future collaboration and projects that we can kind of do in the future that might kind of strengthen connections between the two countries. So I think that's been the most exciting aspect of it for me, is really that opportunity to meet new people and build connections. Yeah.
The mere announcement of Australia being the country of focus of 55th edition of IFFI, what sort of opportunities it brings to Australia specifically when we talk about a grand celebration of cinema like IFFI?
Yeah. Well, look, there's a big Indian population in Australia, and we watch quite a lot of Indian films in our country, as well as American films as well. And I think the big opportunity for us, because we're a small country with a small market, is an opportunity to reach a larger audience. And if we can create films that can appeal to both countries, then that's certainly a benefit to Australians and to filmmakers, because we have the opportunity to share our stories with a wider audience. So I think that's a really exciting thing, and why I think collaboration between the two countries really makes sense and could be of value to everybody.
Tom, what is the most appealing thing about the Indian audience here?
Well, I've only seen one film so far in the cinema, which was All We Imagine as Light, which I think was not particularly typical of most Indian films necessarily. So it felt like a kind of conventional screen viewing to me, but I'm really excited to see some other Indian films, because I understand that the audiences that kind of really get into the film and respond, and you can really feel the way that the audience is reacting to the film. So I'm hoping that with the experience of watching in vitro, people really enjoy the film and get into it. But look, I think there's a lot of similarities between our two countries and our cultures, and I think there's a lot that we can share in terms of films and film appreciation.
Is there any Bollywood movie that you've watched in the past or that you really like?
Well, I'm not sure what classifies as a Bollywood film, but on the plane over I watched Tiger 3. So I've seen both sides, I think, of the Indian filmmaking. I've seen Tiger, and then I saw All We Can Imagine as Light. So the full spectrum, I think. So yeah, I like both of those films in different ways. They're very different films. They're the most recent ones that I've watched so far. I really loved All We Imagine as Light. So that was a beautiful film.
All right, thank you so much, Tom, for joining us.
Cheers, thank you very much.
So there you heard Tom McKeith, who talks about India-Australia relationship, because Australia happens to be the country of focus this time at the 55th edition of IFFI. With camera person Alok, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Goa.